Hello there. My name is Mr. Suhail Habib. I'm an SAT teacher. I've been doing this for the past 6 years, and I will be happy to help you. Today, we will talk about the SAT exam in general. So, what is SAT? What do the letters SAT stand for? When did this start to be administered? It all goes back to 1926. It started to be administered by the College Board. The letters stand for three words. Scholastic Assessment Test. Of course, it used to be called the Scholastic Aptitude Test, the Scholastic Assessment Test, and the SAT Reasoning Test. This is the name that we have nowadays. What are the sections of this exam? How long is it? It's really important to learn about the length and the sections whenever you're working on a standardized test. This exam is approximately 2 hours, 134 minutes. Now, if we take a closer look on the time, we have two sections. We have reading and writing, we have math. This is an adaptive exam. I will talk about this later. What does it mean for an exam to be adaptive? It has two stages. The first module, reading and writing, and then another one, reading and writing. This is the same case for the math section. Each module has around 27 questions and lasts for 32 minutes. So the total number of minutes that you have for the English section is 64 minutes. You have 54 questions. That's it. In the math section, you have more time. You have 70 minutes. Obviously, you need time to solve math equations, to answer specific questions. So you need your time. Now, if we take a closer look on the test sections, we have two modules for the English section. Both of them are entitled Reading and Writing. So we have Reading and Writing Module 1, Reading and Writing Module 2. The first module contains a variety of questions, easy, medium, and hard. Why? Because in the second module, the difficulty of questions relies on your performance in the first module. So if I do well in Module 1, that means that I will get a number of challenging questions in Module 2, and vice versa. If I don't do very well in Module 1, this means the questions in Module 2 will be easier. This is the beauty of it, because some students struggle, so it's fair when you get questions of a certain difficulty based on your performance. So what kinds of paragraphs are included in the test? We have paragraphs that focus on literature. You might get some lines from a poem. You might get some lines from a novel, an excerpt from a novel. You will have a pair of short paragraphs that focus on the same topic. Usually the authors have different opinions about them, and you will have to answer a question that somehow connects the dots, either to show the differences in opinions or to show how the two paragraphs complete one another. You will have paragraphs that focus on topics like economic, psychology, sociology. All of these are social science topics. Finally, you will have paragraphs that focus on science. And under the umbrella of science, we have astronomy, the study of space, we have chemistry, we have biology, physics. You might have, a paragraph that focuses on any of these topics. Now, should I have prior knowledge in chemistry, let's say, to be able to answer the questions, or in literature? No, you don't need to have that prior knowledge. But having prior knowledge might make it easy for you. So anyway, what you need to answer the question is going to be there. We need to move to talk about the writing questions. And here I have to show you the exam paper. As you can see here, we have the first module, and it's entitled Reading and Writing. This is one of the official practice tests made by the College Board. So the first 5 or 6 questions are usually vocabulary questions. You have to fill in the blank with the correct answer. Okay, sometimes up to 8 questions, it depends, but the average is 6. And then you have a number of reading questions. For example, this is a main purpose question. It focuses on the purpose of the text. This one, for example, is a function question. It asks about the function of the underlined portion in this text. I'm going to go down. All right, of course, we have graph questions. You have to answer based on the graph. The first, we can say, this is a text completion question. Yeah, the first 19 questions, 18 to 19 questions are usually reading questions, all right? From question 20 and later, you have writing questions. As you can see, we have different tenses here. So this is a grammar question. If you go all the way to the end, you have around, if we do the math, from 20 to 29, around 10 questions that are grammar questions. Okay, let's continue now. So, about the writing section. Remember the time when you wrote an essay or any piece of writing, whether it's a paragraph or an essay, and then your teacher looked at it and he or she said to you that, well, you have a grammar mistake here, and over there is a punctuation mistake, and this idea should not be here, it should be before, and this idea should be after. This is what writing is about. Now in the SAT, all of the questions are multiple choice questions. So they will ask you questions that give you options with grammar, punctuation, and then you will have to choose the correct answer. That shows whether or not you have good knowledge of standard English, okay? So again, find mistakes or weaknesses in a writing and to suggest corrections or improvements. Now, what skills are being evaluated? Increasing the clarity of an argument, improving the analysis of topics, changing sentence or word structure to increase organization, quality, impact of writing, fixing or improving sentence structure, word usage, and punctuation. This is more or less what we have there. Now, what resources are recommended for preparing for the digital SAT? We have two popular books by the famous writer Erika L. Meltzer. We have Erika Grammar, SAT Grammar for the digital SAT. This is for the writing questions. And we have Erika SAT Reading for the digital SAT. And of course, we should use the official resources, the official College Board practice tests. You might ask yourself, so which resources should I use? I'm telling you this based on long experience. I have looked at multiple resources, you name it, whether it's a black book, whether it's the official guide from the College Board, or the McGraw-Hill books. The best and the most concise resources are the ones made by Erika Meltzer. Now, about the fees of the SAT, it's around $105, okay? It hasn't changed. This has been the case for a while now. There are a number of questions that are frequently asked. So, first question that a lot of students ask, what is the score that I should get? What is a good score? A good score is around 1,400 and above. Now, it relies on the admission terms of the university that you want to join. So I recommend that you always go online to whatever university you're planning to join and then check the admission requirements. Now, if my university teaches in English and if it's a private university and it doesn't require the SAT, do I have to do it? You don't have to do it, but some universities might offer you a partial scholarship if you have a good SAT score. For example, a couple of years ago, I had a student who worked on the SAT and then he got the score of 1,475. Because of that, he got a scholarship at Medipol University here in Turkey to study medicine, and he managed to save around $14,000. So I think this is a decent amount of money. You can buy a car with this money, right? So it's worthwhile. You put in the effort and there's something in return. Okay, another question is, how often should I study? How long? How many hours do I need to finish preparing for the course? Some students like to study on their own. There is no shame in that. But if you know that you won't be able to follow a self-study plan, you need someone to follow with you, it's a good idea to hire a tutor. And this is what we do, right? So if your level in English is good enough, and I'm talking about B2 and above, all right, you might need around 40 hours for the English section. Okay, 40 hours, 35 to 40 hours if you're good. If you know that you are in the B1 level and you struggle a bit with vocabulary, you might need more time. You need also to do more work. You need to go the extra mile in order for you to be ready for the exam. You have a work related to bridging the gap with academic vocabulary, and you have to learn how to work on the different question types. Another question, so which section is more important, English or math? Both of them are equally important because the exam is out of 1,600 and 800 is dedicated to each section of the exam. So you should get a good score in both sections if you want to get an overall good score. How often should I study? Well, if you're planning to take the SAT exam, maybe after 3 or 4 months, this means that you have to study an average of, let's say if you want to study 4 days a week, if you have 2 days in which you take math and 2 days in which you take English, then you need to study for 4 days a week. If you want to distribute the studying hours along the week, that's also up to you. Some students like to study 2 hours a day and maybe you have a rest in another. Some others like to study for 1 hour and study every day like this. So it's up to you. Now, how often is the test administered? It's administered around 6 times a year, even more nowadays. We can look at an example at the website of the College Board to understand how this works. So now, if you look at the screen, as you can see here, these are the dates, all right? So starting with August 2025, that's already in the past. There was an exam that was administered on the 23rd of August. There's actually another one happening on the 13th of September, another one on the 4th of October. So if we do the math, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a good number, 8 times a year. I recommend that you start early enough. If you are in grade 11, that's a good time to start. If you are in grade 12, you don't have much time. You need to hustle. You need to do some work really quickly. All right. I think these are enough questions to be answered. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm willing to answer if you have any more questions. Hopefully, I will see you around. Thank you.